JBNN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, double murder in Westmoreland. For the third time in a week, the Area 1 police have recorded multiple killings. This as 2 men were shot dead and another injured on Monday night during an attack by gunmen in Highgate District in Darlaston, Westmoreland. The dead men have been identified as 22-year-old Nicholas Warlock and Sonia Leslie, 35, both from the community. The injured man is a 21-year-old. Police reports are that about 10:20 p.m., the 3 men were in a shop watching television when they were attacked by men who opened gunfire at them. The gunmen reportedly made their escape, and the police were alerted by residents. Upon arrival, all 3 men were seen suffering from gunshot wounds. They were assisted to the hospital where Warlock and Leslie were pronounced dead on arrival. The injured man was treated and admitted in a stable condition. The police report that the scene was processed and the 13 spent shells and 1 live round were found. Last week Monday, 2 men were shot dead in Montego Bay, St. James. Then on Wednesday, 3 men were killed and 4 injured by gunmen in Hanover. Investigations are still ongoing into those incidents. One more fatality from Hanover crash on Friday. A 34-year-old truck driver is the latest victim of the 2-vehicle crash on the Roundhill Main Road in Hanover last Friday, which claimed the life of a U.S. national. The Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, of the Jamaica Constabulary Force confirmed that Wayne Johnson of a Caymanos Country Club estate address in St. Catherine succumbed to his injuries on Monday morning. He had been driving an Isuzu motor truck when he collided with a car driven by a U.S. national that had veered out of control. It was previously reported that 44-year-old James Martinez of Georgia, USA, died from injuries he sustained in the collision. Reports from the Sandy Bay Police are that about 6 p.m., Martinez was driving a Toyota Crown motor car from Montego Bay, St. James. Upon reaching a section of the roadway, he allegedly lost control of the vehicle and collided with the Isuzu motor truck driven by Johnson that was traveling in the opposite direction. The police were alerted, and all 3 occupants of the Toyota Crown were taken to hospital, where Martinez was pronounced dead. 2 female occupants of the car were admitted. Police seek 3 men in relation to murder of female janitor. The police are seeking 3 men in connection with the death of 45-year-old Angela Forbes, a janitor of Southborough, St. Catherine. Forbes was shot and killed on Miranda Path, Southborough, last week. Reports from the Bridgeport police are that about 11:45 a.m., Forbes had finished cleaning the Southborough Park and was in the area to hand over tools to a man when she went to visit a relative. She was reportedly attacked by 3 armed men who opened gunfire at her. After police personnel were summoned, Forbes was seen lying on her back in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to her body. She was transported to hospital, where she was pronounced dead. 2 charged in relation to gun find at Kingston warehouse remanded. The 2 foreigners who were charged in relation to the seizure of 21 guns and 2,216 rounds of ammunition at a warehouse on Industrial Terrace in Kingston earlier this month were remanded when they appeared in the Home Circuit Court on Monday. They are scheduled to return to court on April 7. Jermaine Baker, a 36-year-old chef of Sunrise, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Dervon Brown, a 42-year-old construction worker of Bronx, New York, are charged with illegal importation of firearms and ammunition. A bail application is expected to be made during the next hearing. The 18 handguns and 3 rifles were found in a box, which was destined for Moko, Clarendon. A number of boxes containing ammunition were also found. The ring of death. A week after parents admitted to reporters that they encouraged their children to take weapons to school to defend themselves while heading home, a 16-year-old grade 10 student at William Knabe Memorial High School in Trelawney was stabbed to death on Monday during a dispute with his classmate, allegedly over a stolen guard ring. The dead student, Kamal Hall of a D-side Trelawney address, was the goalkeeper of the school's football team that competed in the recent Acosta Cup competition. His 16-year-old classmate has since been taken into police custody. The police confirmed that they have the ring and the murder weapon in their possession. On Monday afternoon, several teachers wept openly during a counseling session with a team from the Ministry of Education. Totally devastated. We have never had an incident like this before and we're really trying to cope, a visibly shaken acting principal Audrey Steele told reporters. She noted that the incident occurred 5 minutes into the lunch break when an altercation developed between Hall and the classmate who would accuse Hall of stealing a ring from a friend near the school canteen. A knife was later brought into play and Hall was reportedly stabbed twice. He was rushed to the Falmouth Public General Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries while undergoing treatment. The atmosphere at the front of the accident and emergency section of the hospital was equally somber, as Hall's mother, brother, other family members, and residents cried uncontrollably. The mother of the student accused of stabbing Hall was also observed weeping before she was whisked inside the hospital. Hall's mother was too devastated to speak to the media. Her son, David Swaby, whose face was contorted in grief, could only offer a few words about his brother's athletic prowess. He was a talented youth. He was the goalkeeper for his school, which went to the quarterfinals of the Da Costa Cup. Him the track and field. Him is a good sportsman, Swaby said. A Eastside resident, who was among the throng of onlookers who converged at the hospital, said that Hall was a very quiet, well-behaved individual. He doesn't even talk. He's so quiet and he doesn't give any trouble, said the resident. The acting principal concurred, adding that the student accused of the stabbing was not a troublemaker. Both students were well-behaved. We never had any problem with them. As you know, he was the school's goalkeeper, quite a pleasant young man. So there were no major problems with both young men, she said. The senior educator, however, lamented that recently the school has been dogged by a new trend, which sees the students wearing rings. Many of these students are wearing these rings that they seem to value dearly. We have quite a few that we have confiscated over time. Quite a few that we have confiscated. So I don't know what value they have placed on these rings, but we are constantly taking away these rings, and the more you confiscate them, the more they come, Steele said. When asked if the rings are guard rings, Steele responded, "That's what they're saying. So if you check everybody's draw in the school, you'll find many, many more. I have about 5 more somewhere. So this is a new trend where they're coming with these rings, and that's at the center of the contention." Montpelier on police radar of a string of murders in St. James. A string of recent killings has landed the once peaceful community of Montpelier in St. James on the police's radar. The area has caught our attention because it was not one of the areas that has a history of gang violence or high crime in recent years, Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers said. "We have not had any information that there is any tension within a faction, syndicate or gang, and now we're having a couple of murders, which is cause for concern," he added. Since the start of the year, there have been at least 4 murders in the community. The most recent occurred on March 19. In that incident, 32-year-old Romario Humes, a farmer from Montpelier, died after he was shot by unknown assailants. The Anchovy police report that about 8:30 p.m. they were called to the community after Humes' body was found along the road with multiple gunshot wounds. Another farmer, Kemmer Piggott, was killed as he walked along the main road on March 2. In February, Brandon Dolman was killed, while in January, up-and-coming artist Javon Willie, who went by the stage name Capella Dawn, was killed. Preliminary investigations do not indicate that the killings are linked. Chambers said he is still seeking verification on that, and that he and his team have put measures in place to prevent more bloodshed. What we're doing now is more proactive policing in this space to guard against the potential of any more happening. We're doing road policing generally. We have put patrols in the space and some high visibility activities. Outside of that, we're waiting on investigations and intel to cause us to be a little more targeted in going to the root of these murders and to see if they are linked to, he said. 70 new COVID-19 cases in Jamaica, no deaths reported. The Ministry of Health and Wellness reported 70 new COVID-19 cases on Monday, March 21, bringing the infection total to 120,582. The new cases comprise 10 females and 7 males, with ages ranging from 12 years to 77 years. The cases were recorded in St. James 5, Westmoreland 3, Kingston and St. Andrew 2, Hanover 1, Manchester 1, St. Anne 1, St. Catherine 1, St. Elizabeth 1, St. Mary 1, and Trelawney 1. No deaths were reported for the period. There were 73 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 80,403. Currently, 46 people are hospitalized, 1 of whom is severely ill, while 1 is critically ill and 6 are moderately ill. The Health Ministry reported a positivity rate of 2.2%. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.